this week's Millennial Affirmations, Thanksgiving edition. I am simply not having it this year. I am bringing my own seasonings to the dinner table. I am naming 5 things I see, 4 things I feel, 3 things I hear, 2 things I smell, and 1 thing I taste. I am taking the last serving of the best side dish. And I am not choosing peace.
Welcome to Once in a Generation, the podcast where being a millennial means you put more effort into Friendsgiving than your family Thanksgiving.
We're your hosts. I'm Chase, he, him.
Liv, she, her.
And Katie, she, her.
Each episode, we unpack the mess that is our generation, trying to answer the question, was it really ever supposed to work out for us?
Because being part of the most resilient generation means microdosing your substance of choice in order to make it through invasive personal questions from your family.
This is Once in a Generation. Let's unpack the damage, especially this week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a little bit more of a relaxed episode. We are talking about Thanksgiving this week. We figured there would be a need for something a little bit more chill to listen to, maybe while you're chopping veggies and desperately avoiding talking to your family, or just staying home in your own maybe apartment and chopping those same veggies. But regardless, just some nice voices in the background. We are digging into Thanksgiving recipes and traditions this week, specifically around kind of folks our age, how things might have changed from generations before us, how Thanksgiving might be a little bit different now that we are kind of stepping into some of those more adult roles for these big traditions. And we have a lovely special guest. Chase, take it away to intro our lovely guest.
I am incredibly privileged to introduce one of my best friends. We went to college together, Sarah Kay. She's a food and travel writer with a background that includes a degree from a French Culinary Institute. Sorry, let me say that one more time. The French Culinary Institute.
The French Culinary, not
The
A French culinary?
Just a random one I found online.
It's actually through DeVry.
Honestly, that one probably is still in business.
She is a food and travel writer with a background that includes a degree from the French Culinary Institute. She joins us today with her hot takes to dish on Thanksgiving food. Sarah Kay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk about all my favorite Thanksgiving treats.
Yeah, let's get right into it. What is everybody's favorite, what do you fight sidewise? You're at the table, people place it down, and you're like, where am I going to sit? What am I going to grab?
Garlic mashed potatoes. Everyone go around the horn and then I'll give my caveat.
Yes,
Okay.
give your potato caveat. I'm going to go cranberry sauce. It's crazy. I could eat 8 cans of cranberry sauce.
Interesting that you say cans and not like homemade.
Homemade is bullshit. I stand on that.
It must have the rings, correct? Chase?
I need to know where to slice it.
Slice.
It's portion control.
Mm.
Straight up portion control.
Mm.
So for me, it is typically the candied sweet potatoes. I'm not talking about like with the the marshmallow on top or whatever. It's the maple syrup and ginger broiled sliced sweet potatoes. They're just sugar at that point. Either that or really good stuffing.
Creamed corn, 100%, all the time, every day. It is my favorite food.
Southern.
It is. I really bring the Southern representation to this podcast by asking questions like, there's options that aren't putting milk and butter into mashed potatoes. What we discovered kind of in our pre-pro call for this is that Southern traditions and foodways are fairly things that I cannot imagine can be made any other sort of way. Katie will throw ginger into a sweet potato conversation, and I'm like, that is an option? It never entered into my mind.
We haven't even gotten to the horseradish, but that's
No.
a different dish.
We'll
That's
say
not
that.
That's not sweet potatoes. That's a different dish.
And I would say, however, there's an asterisk next to mine, which is that there is always a temptation on the table because cranberry sauce is objectively amazing, and I am allergic to cranberries. And I want to eat 5 cans of it. I want, it's great. Like, it's awesome. Lingonberry is good enough.
I was gonna say, have you tried lingonberry sauce?
Yeah, no, I'm not allergic to lingonberries. Thank you to IKEA for actually showing me the light like a decade ago.
Swedes, baby.
Not
Listen,
quite the
how
same.
apropos.
How
Sarah Kay is
apropos.
coming to us from lovely, expensive Sweden, and
Thank you, Sweden.
she brings the
Well,
lingonberries.
bet. That's true. We do
Or-
have the lingonberries, and you know what? They're delicious.
They are.
Creamed corn, I've never had it at Thanksgiving, so super into that.
Right?
What is creamed corn?
It's what it sounds
Corn,
like.
Yeah,
butter,
it's corn.
milk, cheese?
No.
Question mark?
No, like heavy cream, yeah.
Heavy cream.
Heavy
Yeah.
cream.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
like-
and then
like
it
slow-
develops a thick, creamy
Yeah,
texture.
and basically makes like a
Milk
milk
tea.
sauce.
Chase, if you were making corn chowder without the broth.
That sounds terrible.
Some people want the whole corn kernel. Like, it's one of those that it's a hyper local to where you grew up and like what people made for you. So like I don't want it all loose. Like I don't want a corn chowder. Like but I want like a mix. I want like some broken
The,
corn
like,
pieces, some
mashed,
little bits,
yeah.
some whole
Yeah.
pieces, like a little
We need
bit, a little
different
bit of everything in there.
textures. It's not like it shouldn't be like you shouldn't be able to gum it. You should have to chew it a little.
Yep.
A little bit.
None of
yeah.
this is selling me.
I was obsessed with it as a kid. I would eat cream corn as soup. Like I would get the canned stuff and I would just like everyone would be like, "What are you having for lunch?" Cream corn.
That is the whitest thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah, I don't love that.
So wait till we talk about the
You've
Pennsylvania.
now lost
tradition.
me on creamed corn.
Tell me about these mashed potatoes.
Here's the thing. I love mashed potatoes so very much. I grew up, I'm Jewish. I grew up in a Jewish household. And so even on Thanksgiving, no dairy because it's turkey, right? But having mashed potatoes without like cream and butter almost feels like a criminal act. So I grew up with that for years. And then one year, my sister and I were in the kitchen, kind of like getting sides together. And my dad was like, "Hey, just remember for the mashed potatoes, we have like non-dairy, like sour cream and non-dairy heavy cream in the fridge." And we're like, "Okay." Like, and margarine, the worst. So we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, we're going to put in butter and cream, right? Like the real stuff. Of course. So we added that in, didn't tell anybody. And you know what? Best side on the table. Even though why? Because there was raw dairy in it. And from that, I mean, I can't imagine having garlicky mashed potatoes without like proper dairy. You need butter. Butter is so important to good mashed potatoes.
You need the milk fat to balance out the like zest of the garlic.
You need that dairy fat. And also, like, it just makes it super velvety and smooth. And also, it's almost like you don't want to get it to fully a puree because then it is kind of like baby food. But you definitely want it to be like smooth and and like luscious. You know what I mean?
We've
Yeah.
had scandals at our Thanksgiving on and off through the years because typically someone gets handed the immersion blender and is told, "Go mash the potatoes." And
No.
sometimes people do it just right. And then other times it turns to glue. And it's always just like, all right, who made the potato soup?
I think the tool that anyone who really wants to do like a good mashed potato is a food mill. So you can put
Yeah.
all your cooked potatoes in. It's either like a stir option or there's like the hand press ones. That is
The
going to give you
research.
like
Yeah.
the smoothest option, and it's perfect. And I love an immersion blender. Don't get me wrong; it's a great kitchen tool. But to your point, you don't want cream. You don't want potato soup. We're not going for baby food or
We're not doing fishy swat.
retirement
Like,
home
this is,
food.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like let's.
We do save the immersion blender for a gravy because we blend a bunch of the vegetables that we roasted the turkey with into the gravy. So it's like a very fatty veggie soup. It's delicious. Can you believe that I was actually raised on Thanksgiving with like stovetop stuffing and instant mash? And then I upgraded my family situation and I got better food.
And I think everyone is grateful for that.
Yeah.
I'll also say another fought over part of the Thanksgiving table is you've ever looked at a turkey or chicken on the back, they have like a butt, like a little tushy. That is all fat. And let me tell you, it is delicious. So the turkey tush
Turkey tush coming in with the hot takes.
Underappreciated piece of meat on the turkey. You can actually also buy just a package of turkey tushies and you can roast them and they are amazing. It's just fat. It's pure fat and then like crispy skin.
Yeah. You get it's like it's like pork rinds, but for turkey basically at that point.
Yeah.
But no, that's how I make
a little
my
turkey butt.
schmaltz when I need schmaltz. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Perfect.
schmaltz?
Yeah. Schmaltz
What
is oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you are a resident Jewish
schmaltz
here.
is when you take like it's rendered chicken fat. So you take like your chicken skin and you would put it very like low and slow, cook it in a pan with water, and you let all the oil come out and all the fat come out of the skin. And then you get two snacks. One, you get the fatty like liquid, and that is liquid gold. Honestly, liquid gold. And then you also get crispy chicken skin, which is a snack. So
I think when you said it, I
Perfection.
heard that thing when like they like wipe something off your
Schmutz.
face.
Schmutz.
But this is
Yeah.
schmaltz.
And schmaltz.
This is
like
schmaltz with an
schmaltzy.
A. Schmutz is you got a little something.
Yeah, yeah.
Schmaltz
Mm,
is God's gift to
Mhm.
cooking.
So when someone says that something is schmaltzy, what they mean is it's super rich because of like all
Yeah.
of that good oily juiciness that cooks out.
Yeah,
I'm learning
like
so much.
super
And I'm gonna have to put
flavorful.
so many pro tips
Like,
in
the best
graphic.
way to make matzo balls. I'm not Jewish.
Oh
I
my
just-
God. If you're making matzo balls without schmaltz, I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. I couldn't agree more.
Well, so one of the things we were talking about in the pre-pro call again that Liv was alluding to is millennials kind of retaking a lot of these traditions. So like I would love to talk a little bit about traditions we had growing up and how we reimagined them. So maybe we can start talking about like things that we remember from childhood that were like either gems or things we never wanted to do and how we redid them later in life.
Specifically in regards to Thanksgiving or like I'm reclaiming my mom's Laura Ashley closet.
I'm going to go with Thanksgiving as the title of the episode, but I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to Google it later.
I can go first. So I come from a long line of people who just cannot cook. I mean, like not in a like what's the best way to put this? Not in a way that they are making stuffing from a box on the table. In a way that my father knew that dinner was ready when the smoke alarm went off. When he was a child. And like that's on like that side. And then my mom just does some baffling things to food in terms of either being the most salted that you've ever tasted in your whole life or the least, like something that desperately would need it, or something way overcooked or something way undercooked. And being allergic to cranberry sauce, I would just like sneak a tablespoon of it and then break out in hives and then get to skip. Things not being held to food safe temperature throughout the cooking process, like eggs being left out on the counter for hours and hours and hours. And so, and I know many millennials who are like kind of in that same situation, where, and I'm not talking about farm fresh eggs, Katie. I'm talking about.
No, I had a moment where I was like, if they haven't been washed, they can sit on the counter. Once
They
you wash
can.
them, once
These
you
are
wash them,
straight
they need
from
to be
Publix.
refrigerated. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Straight from Publix, not in a farm way, not in a way that we plucked them ourselves from the Publix checkout line. But what I have really
It's a
brought,
very
I think, to
kind
my
of bird.
cooking, in the one Thanksgiving I ever hosted, and hopefully the last, because that was the most stressful experience of my life. But a really number one, a sense of following a recipe, trialing it out before, like thinking through it, being aware that I don't have having to build cooking instincts kind of from scratch rather than just we will simply figure this out. And then also just kind of food safety measures. I know lots of millennials who are on the food safety measures in particular that we've had conversations about, like how did we thought we had stomach bugs our whole life. Like every time we go home for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, we think we're sick. And it turns out that the sandwich meat has just been sitting on the counter for 5 hours. And then was put back in the fridge right before we came home. And so that's what I bring is, a sense of not wanting to get salmonella.
That's a good skill for millennials to bring
It is.
to their table.
Definitely.
And
I
if
agree,
you get sick every time you go home when you eat the food, think about it.
I
Think
think that's
about it
called
for a minute.
Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah, there's lots of options.
Is that a result of the stuffing being put into the raw bird?
No, so I think stuffing is disgusting, and the concept of it is wrong. So like I'm Southern
It's so
dressing.
moist and
It's
delicious.
so
Dressing.
good.
Dressing. I'm with you. Dressing.
Dressing
I like
should
both.
be in a disposable metal sheet pan that is mostly cornbread and
madness.
some vegetables and turkey stock. Like that is
Agreed.
dressing. No, this is like ingredients for things that need to be kept at a food safe temperature, not being remotely kept at that temperature over and over and over again. So they go through the scary kind of food temperature phase several different times.
Not great.
And yeah, that's what I mean.
So little bit of botulism every Thanksgiving is the family tradition that you are not reclaiming.
That
They're
is exactly
preparing you
that
for
is
the
what I'm not reclaiming.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say you are now Armageddon proof. Like you can eat anything in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah, you've built up quite an immunity. I think you'll survive any sort of apocalypse.
You,
Yeah.
cockroaches, and Cher. They're going to be the only things left.
Thank
Yep.
you to the coworker
so-
who
Cher,
said
let's
you
all pray
shouldn't
for
have
her.
food poisoning that
Seriously.
often. That really sent me down this. It wasn't any of these two coworkers, a different coworker. That I went, yeah, that's a fair point. I feel like that actually should be fairly rare. And then I put two and two together.
Well, and also like I feel like that ties in a little bit to the whole like hot girl tummy problems thing that like
Yeah.
millennials started, where it's just like maybe you should go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you're meal prepping and it's day 6, like, is that still good? Technically, like, is that still good in the fridge? Think about it.
And I get into a fight with my boyfriend and the men in my family all the time because they'll eat stuff that's like 5 days old in the fridge. And I'm like, after day 3, I'm not touching it. And they're like, but it's perfectly fine. And I'm like, at least tell me you're going to nuke it so that like anything that was, and they're like, no, I'll eat it cold. And they are fine. Stomachs of steel. And then my mother and I are just like, if it's more than 48 hours old, we're going to get stomach cramps from it. And I was reading a study the other day. Apparently, women have more nerve receptors in their gastrointestinal tract than men. And so it actually is scientifically possible for women to have more hot girl tummy problems than men.
I think that's how I've proven that trans people actually exist, because I have always had a fucking stomach of steel. I can eat whatever I fucking want.
Meanwhile, my
Your
trans wife,
your stomach knew before anything
My stomach
else.
was trans before
Seriously.
I was.
my
Your
trans
stomach
wife
was trans
specific
before you
said-
were. Exactly.
I was going to say your stomach said trans rights.
I remember going to Hofstra.
Trans
and-
stomachs matter.
Trans stomachs
Listen.
matter.
I remember going into Dutch Treats at Hofstra. Okay, you remember? And Mel and I are really good friends. It was like 3 in the morning, right before they closed or something, and the only thing they had left were chicken parm cutlets from the whole day later, and cinnamon raisin bagels. And we ate that.
I'll remember
and
this.
to this fucking day, it is one of my favorite things I've eaten at Hofstra.
Even hearing you say cinnamon raisin bagel and chicken parm, like it makes me my gag reflex goes a little.
Don't knock it before you try it at
I'm
3
intrigued.
a.m. when you're drunk.
I also
Yeah.
like I'm a big believer
Same.
in the like things that shouldn't go together can go together, like the olive oil and salt on the ice cream, or the honey and sea salt on the avocado. Or I just introduced my boyfriend to flaky salt on cantaloupe yesterday, which is delicious.
Flaky salt on
Uh,
anything.
Yeah.
is-
Well, also, I mean, the common denominator here is salt in all of these.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about, I think the cinnamon raisin bagel for me is like the sore point, because I don't know if you all remember, but I don't know how many years ago it was. I feel like I'm 110. But the Cynthia Nixon ran for governor of New York, and they asked her, as they ask every like state official running in New York, like, what's your bagel order? And she said that she gets lox and cream cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel. And I was deeply offended. And I love Cynthia Nixon. I love Sex and the City. I think Miranda was a character that they did not treat well, that her bagel order as a real human being sucks. And I just can't get over it.
Okay, I keep judging, and then also I'm about to talk about how we put horseradish in one of our cranberry sauces,
Yeah,
and it is
that's
the
crazy.
fan
Yeah,
favorite
that's the
of
thing. Like,
27 people all agree it is the best cranberry sauce.
Well,
mean,
maybe you
to your
found the
point-
worst palated
Yeah.
27 people in life.
things that shouldn't go together but do go together. I mean, sometimes it works out.
It works. It works. So I feel like, all right, I'm not going to go down the whole long story of the Viking feast that is my family Thanksgiving. But for anyone who is not the group on here who's already heard this story, to set the bar. So when we entered my stepfather's family when I was 16 years old, we went from stovetop mashed potato, like instant mash and like stovetop stuffing, to a family where the entire extended family uses it as excuse for like a 4-day family reunion. So it's like 4 days of feasting. And my stepfather built a table specifically for Thanksgiving, so all 27 people could sit at the same table. There have been 2 turkeys. We are now, because some family members are like living far abroad and can't come home, down to 1 turkey and a turkey breast. There's 5 different cranberry sauces, 3 different types of stuffing / dressing, and like sauerkraut because we're in Baltimore, and also red cabbage because his family's Polish, and just like everything you can imagine. Also like wasabi cucumber salad because one of my cousins lives in Japan now. Like it is a true like foodie
Interesting.
smorgasbord. Yeah. And then like my stepfather's birthday is usually right around Thanksgiving, like the day before or after or on. So we do like a birthday dinner that's themed. So, like 1 year we did like Greek dinner, and everyone was toasting with ouzo, which with 27 people, you're just completely shit faced with your
Yeah,
family by the end.
slammed.
As you should be.
Going,
Yeah.
anyway, so like that is my Thanksgiving experience. Is just like a shit ton of foodie food, and a lot of family members who at least are not too objectionable, even if they are going to ask me when I'm going to have kids, and the answer is always never. But they don't want to hear that.
I have to ask, how big of a turkey, if you're only getting 1 turkey for this group, like how many pounds are we talking?
2. So when we were at the full, we actually had 1 year where we got up to like 31 because we were also inviting strays that were friends of the family who didn't have anywhere to go. And so they were like, I don't know how big turkeys go, but like whatever the biggest size is you can order, we were getting 2 of those. And
I
now
think
since
they get up
we're
into like
getting,
the 20 pounds. I think they get up.
it's like
pretty
20, 28 pounds, something like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah, it's
mean,
big.
crazy.
We
Hefty
brine it for
birds.
like 2 days.
How did you cook it?
We have 2 ovens.
Cool.
We have little like crock pots that you see at like church buffets and stuff that only get pulled out for that time of year for like the sauerkraut and the creamed onion and the red cabbage and all this stuff.
Onion.
We have a game plan. Like the way that people have like game plan, like actual football game plans, and they're like, okay, coach, what are we doing? My stepfather has like a Thanksgiving Day Bible with all the recipes and also the schedule for when we do it. And it gets updated every year and emailed out to everyone.
That
I
sounds
love
so
that. I think
stressful.
that's so fun.
Oh yeah.
It is honestly, it is my family's favorite holiday, like hands
It's a great
down.
holiday. Has anyone
Right.
here ever had a ham at Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yes.
Back when
I've
I was
not
going to
had a
my
ham.
Pennsylvania side of the family. Yes.
So interesting. I mean, again, Jewish, no ham.
I didn't know if you weren't Jewish. I didn't know that ham wasn't common at Thanksgiving until I married into a family from Massachusetts. And then they were like, "Oh, and we'll get ham for Liv." And I'm like, "What do you just for me? What do you mean?" And like the idea that the ham's not more important than the turkey in terms of what you're actually eating is hilarious to me.
Are there specific holidays that are supposed to have certain types of meat? Because, like, in my family, it was turkey for Thanksgiving, ham for Christmas, lamb for Easter because the Lamb of God. I don't know. No, it's like, yeah. And so, like, there were certain times of year that you're like supposed to do specific types of meat. And then I talked to Liv, and she's like, no, it was always ham, just ham.
Ham
Unless it's the
every
summer.
meal?
Ham.
Ham.
Yeah, no ham for me. I mean, Thanksgiving, turkey, sometimes chicken if we were not feeling in the turkey mood. I mean, Hanukkah, there's no like official dinner. Although when I'm married to a guy he's Catholic technically, but like not observant. Family didn't grow up that way, but we did go to a couple like family Christmas parties, and they so much ham for sure,
Oh,
like a
sorry, go ahead.
spiral ham.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask, is he like one of the Seven Fishes Catholic families, like with
No,
the
not Italian,
Okay.
Irish.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of potatoes,
Lots of
and
potatoes.
then Passover, like when you guys are having Easter and doing and having lamb, Passover
What do you
always a
mean, you
brisket.
guys?
You know,
I'm
you people.
I'm marrying a Jew, so I'm
Oh, so
part
you're
of
lucky.
it.
You can have a brisket now on Passover.
Oh my God, I started making for Thanksgiving and Christmas prime rib because Costco
I
specials.
love that. I think that
Love
is
prime
the
rib.
perfect holiday meal, prime rib.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve.
I'm never gonna cook it at home because I don't trust myself. But I will go to a restaurant if like it's holiday season and I'm feeling just classy as fuck. Get a prime rib, especially at a restaurant where they like slice it table side.
Yeah.
Get
You
out.
haven't had my prime rib. The first time I ever made it, I'm like really into cooking now because I went like 5 months without a job, and I've always liked cooking before that, but
I was gonna say you were super into. I remember when you
Yeah.
first started
Yeah, you
dating
made me
your
dinner
girlfriend.
when I
That's true.
first came to your house.
That's true. It's so funny I'm going way, way back. I'm not gonna edit it. It's just gonna be the order. Sorry, listener. Like things that I took over. My mom
Deal
has
with it.
always deal with it. My mom has always cooked, and my dad is that kind of person when my mom went away to basket weaving conventions because that's what she did. He would like have chicken broth and egg noodles, and like that's what he ate the entire time because
Aw.
he's like, I don't cook.
Oh my God.
And so when I first told my mom that I like to cook, she was like, "What? Like, what do you mean you cook? Like, no one in this family cooks." Meanwhile, my brother went to culinary school. I'm like, "Mom, like, we cook."
Just because you two don't cook doesn't mean your
Well,
kids.
my mom cooks, but she's like the millennial. Like, I grew up eating meatloaf and like
The functional cook,
casseroles.
not the foodie cook.
Now,
Yeah,
let's not
exactly.
hate on meatloaf. I love a
Yeah,
I
let's not
don't
hate
hate
on
on
meatloaf.
meatloaf. I hate
Same.
on bad meatloaf. That's what I hate on.
Well, yeah,
With
Dry
enough
ass
ketchup, any
meatloaf.
meatloaf is good.
There's
I
nothing
love
wrong with a
meatloaf.
delicious meatloaf. But I
Nothing
remember
wrong with a delicious
inviting
meatloaf.
No. I remember inviting my mom to Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving was never really big. Like, all of my family members are a little bit crazy, including my main family as well as my external family. Like, I've
Yes,
never
but we're on the Thanksgiving episode. I think every listener is gonna be like, same.
Yeah,
Everyone's family is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a common denominator of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I never had big Thanksgivings. Like, we didn't invite it was just the 5 of us.
Mhm.
And all the time. And now I try to have like people come into town, like friends or family. And as Liv and Katie know, I'm not really good with knives. I definitely have a lot of finger injuries. You
We're
might have
gonna
even
insure
seen
his fingers so he can continue editing the podcast.
you might have even
We got to
seen one
get
in
you
one of
some
the
of those like
episodes.
thimbles for your fingers.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would probably be good. I'd
Finger
still probably
guards.
come.
Wait,
But
the
every
finger guard.
condoms? The finger
Yeah.
condoms?
Finger
Yeah.
condoms. Or I'm Chase, I'm sure you know this already, but here's a tip from someone who went to a culinary school that's no longer in business. When you're chopping, if you curl your fingers like a little claw, the knife is always going to hit like that, which is this is great for for an audio medium, right? If you curl your fingers like a claw, your knife is just going to it's going to like hit against your finger, but it's not going to slice your finger off. So just if you're practice, when you're slicing an onion or a carrot, whatever, just like curl your fingers.
You've got
Thing is,
homework,
I
Chase.
never cut my fingers when I'm actually cutting food. I always cut it when I'm like cleaning the knife or doing something else. Or like I invited my family over and I decided I think the big problem is when I cook, I drink. So I think I just maybe need to do that less.
Just drunk
I
cleaning
think that's
knives.
why there's probably so many injuries. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I imagine there's a lot of injuries on Thanksgiving in the kitchen because people get drunk, and then they're like, "Who wants to carve the turkey?"
Right. This is why we usually have a dedicated knife cleaner in our Thanksgiving kitchen. Well, we have a dedicated like
Is that your DD?
Yeah, is it your designated driver
kind
for
of
knives?
okay, 'cause, like, okay, we have
That's
to drink a
smart.
lot of wine to deal with the rest of our family. We also have like very regimented rules for a kitchen where it's like you must be cooking to be in the kitchen. There's no hanging out in the kitchen because otherwise it
Oh.
clogs up the space.
Literally, too
Um,
many cooks in the kitchen. Can't have it.
Right. Right,
Mm-mm.
exactly, and I'm
Can't have it.
very proud that I get to sous chef. But as a result, one of my jobs, because I can handle my liquor a little bit better than others, is I will like clean things, especially the knives or like the fine china right before it goes out on the table.
Sure.
Because I'm not gonna like butterfinger it, which is hilarious because I'm a klutz rest of the time. But at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I'm the professional.
Hands of a heart surgeon.
So basically, Chase, you need to stock up on Band-Aids.
Mhm.
Oh, I have a
Before
whole
things
first aid
splitting.
kit that's out when I cook.
You need to knight
I'm
Thomas
just saying,
as the knife
stock
cleaner.
up.
Yeah. Do you know that brought up an interesting thought that we didn't talk about in the pre-pro, but that just came to my mind is millennials are the drunkest generation. They claim that, although I don't know if that's true because
Not
I
according
watch
to
Mad
science and
Men.
statistics. We
I watch
aren't.
Mad Men.
No.
I do think that there is a higher incidence of liver cancer in our generation than in like the last 10 years before us, but a lot
I
of
think
it
that's
has
just
to do
because
with
they're
the pandemic.
categorizing it.
No,
Yeah.
Also,
so the science is the people who are drinking, and the people who only have like a drink a week, like maybe like two, whatever, are like basically there's more of those than there are like people drinking. So I'm talking specifically about like the wine mom folks have like a much higher incidence of liver cancer than like women of generations past in a very specific targeted way.
But you have to drink to deal with family.
You do,
So
yeah, Thanksgiving.
my point is
Ultra.
the generations who are younger than us are drinking much less. So
Yeah.
how are they dealing with family? Are they just avoiding it for Thanksgiving?
I honestly, and I think they blame I think they use mental health. They'll be like, this is really impacting my like neurodivergency. I simply must leave the table. Or
And so
like,
they're just better at
oh, I
boundaries.
forgot to
Well-
take my Adderall. Gotta go.
So 2 years ago, we had some extended cousins join us for the first time at our giant Viking feast. They came in from Washington State, and their son, I guess, is like about 8-10 years younger than me, so still technically a millennial, but the younger side of millennials. And he put his loop earplugs in the whole time, and just like whenever it got to when she just walked to the other room, and if anyone asked him, he's like, "I'm overstimulated," and he just would leave, but he didn't drink.
I think it's boundaries. I think
it
they just
is.
have better boundaries.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, it is good to set boundaries.
Yes, I also think that like I don't know about you, Sarah, but the three of us have in common sort of having been the child who had to deal with the like family BS, whether we were the oldest child or anything else. And like I think there is a higher incidence of like the eldest child then being like, I need a fucking handle to get through this holiday.
I mean, I'm the youngest child, so the youngest of two. So I feel like my sister kind of took the role of like handling BS. However, I definitely have handled my share of family bullshit. That said, the first time my parents met my now in-laws was at Thanksgiving, and that was stressful. And I drank a whole bottle of wine in the lead up to that meeting because I was so stressed about my soon-to-be in-laws meeting my parents. It ended up being fine, but like stressful. And I don't know. I feel like millennials, like we can all kind of, I feel like we feel that more than like younger generations. I feel like when they introduce parents, it's just like their parents are, it's just like, it's, different ages. Like our boomer parents meeting each other is so different than like Gen X parents meeting each other. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think also, and this is I think what I was kind of trying to get out, and I was like the children who have to take on more it's like I think we also take more ownership or responsibility for like how our parents feel, react, or like what
Mm.
their behavior is. Where I
Mm.
see some younger generations or like even younger millennials, and they're just like the fucking parents, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm cursing a lot here. You know, whereas like I'm like, is my mom okay? Is my stepfather okay? Do they like
Mm.
them? You know, like I am like managing them.
Oh yeah. I guess like for me, for Thanksgiving, like it was always um sometimes you would have like family Thanksgiving, and like I've never felt a need to like handle a family member because like everyone's just kind of bouncing off each other. This is how we always are. No one needs to like act a certain way around someone else because they're new to the group. You know what I mean? But growing up for a really long time, we also used to go to there was another family in our neighborhood who we were really close with who would have Thanksgiving. We would go there sometimes. And so like it was mostly their family and then friends at the table. So that you could always tell the people who were sitting at the table and doing like the human handling. Like make sure that mom doesn't talk about this, or like make sure that Joey sitting at the end of the table isn't talking about like video games or like voting for Trump or something weird like that. But, every table needs a handler.
That's absolutely true. I mean, I think before I met my partner that I have now, where that's a completely different Thanksgiving. It's like wild. I can't even fully get into it. Although I did make the joke at my barbecue. I thanked her mom for letting 2 white boys cook at that Thanksgiving dinner because we're the only white boys there. I think millennials have found a way to take Thanksgiving because the thought that I had is we have reclaimed what family means. I know so many millennials who have friendsgivings or strays, as you say, like that. And so the idea of dealing with family drama, I feel like maybe started with us where we just went, that's not for me. Like, I don't need to be yelled at after I've flown at the most stressful time of year, dealt with the worst traffic, and now I'm dealing with my crazy Trump uncle. No, thank you.
Oh, my Trumple. Ugh,
My Trumple.
my Trumple. Everyone has a Trumple. Isn't that crazy?
Everyone has a Trumple, and that's how I know
Deeply
America's going
upsetting.
down.
All of mine.
Everyone has a
Every one of
Trumple.
them are Trumples. So
Yeah, you have Liv, what is your Thanksgiving
Oh,
like
kick
going
them out of the
home?
table and take away the creamed corn.
Oh, I don't go. I go to my in-laws. They're from Massachusetts, but they can still live in Georgia, at least for now. I can't wait for them to move abroad because every year flying back through Hartsfield and like being one county over from where I'm from, I'm like, I can't wear a trench coat there because they do call me Columbo. That did happen in public once, and I was like, I can't deal with that. Even though I was like, sort of a compliment. Thanks, man. Like, I love living in DC because I can just wear a trench coat unironically.
Wait,
But
were you the
I
inspiration for Poker Face?
maybe who knows?
Wow. I didn't make that connection. That's incredible.
Curly
Like,
hair.
that's it. I'm basically just like hiding in my in-laws like condo like for the entire time that I'm there. We usually go down like kind of every other Thanksgiving, just because, and this is something I want to talk about too, is the kind of economics of it. Flights are so expensive. Like even just from DC to Atlanta, it is a 2-hour flight, and I think the cheapest I've been able to get it since I've been here is like $300. And so if you're doing that for 2 holidays, like fairly close to each other, and sort of like I've always worked jobs where kind of getting time off is not always the easiest, or you aren't able to work from certain states if you can work remote. Um, it gets a little tricky. So, every other Thanksgiving we end up kind of staying up here, and then we tend to go down for Christmas and stay a couple days longer. But something I've been really curious about, and when I kind of polled my friends, like what would you be interested in hearing? A lot of it was around what is the weirdest side that everybody has, but the entire rest of it, to an unexpected level, was how the way that the economy has sort of unfolded throughout our lives has forced us to interact with this tradition that is still held to a very static standard by folks who are older than us, and by our parents and by their parents and aunts and uncles, in a different way. So not being able to make it every year just because you can't afford, that many plane tickets. My friends who have kids, I have no idea how they're managing it. Folks have increasingly, at least in the group that I know, have moved away. So we're all in big cities, or we are, if not in big cities, somewhere else where we had to go for economic opportunity. Basically, nobody's a homeowner. So it's not like you own a home, you're like near your hometown, you can make a dish, you can bring it. So increasingly, we're wheeling in with our carry-on bags with like no kids, with a pet sitter back home texting us twice a day. And we don't have a dish that we're able to bring. We don't necessarily, it's a really different relationship, I think, than someone in, say, like in pre the financial crisis or in the 90s might have had to this holiday. And so increasingly folks I know are either making an effort for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, like their families are one or the other. And mine are great. My in-laws are fantastic, but it is the making it down there. It's a grand, every trip at minimum, which is not, it's not always in budget every year. And feeling guilty for not being able to bring that dish. So that was when I kind of pulled folks, that was the biggest thing that they were on about, is like, this year I'm about to spend $1,200 on plane tickets that were $600 the year before. And, they increasingly not the lack of affordability for these sort of connection opportunities.
Well, and so I always layer on, like, right when I started traveling for Thanksgiving, when I moved out to California, my family was still back east, was at like the height of like post 9/11 security theater. So I always
Oh,
associate like traveling for Thanksgiving as also like just the worst security line. So I'm always like, you need to get to the airport 6 hours ahead of time. And everyone's like, no, you don't.
You do
Um,
at Hartsfield.
okay.
Oh,
To be
Possibly.
clear.
I'm sorry.
Possibly true.
Hartsfield Airport is the best airport.
mhm.
But then on the flip side, so this is not totally Thanksgiving specific, but relevant to millennial experience. So I'm so used to that security theater that I actually now get a sense of security from going through it. Now I do love TSA pre-check and being able to just like slide through without it. It
Get that
makes me feel
clear.
bougie. Oh, I know I have the clear too, but not every airport has it where I like
That's
the
true.
airline I'm going. It sucks. But my boyfriend and I just had this awful experience. It was like terrifying in retrospect, where we flew through O'Hare on our TSA pre-check, and he had a liter bottle of water in his bag that we forgot about, and no one's like did anything about it. A full liter. It wasn't like empty or
It's
like.
theater.
And I
That
just
makes
was like,
me anxious.
the person who spent 6 hours at the airport in like George W. Bush security now is like, I'm scared to fly. That is
Can we talk
like
about snacks?
tangential to Thanksgiving, but yes.
Airbags make me very anxious.
Yes.
Yeah, as they should. They're
Yes.
terrifying.
As they should. I mean, I feel kind of lucky that, like, I went to college in New York, and then after graduating college, I stayed in New York, and I grew up in Maryland. So, like, I never had to fly home for Thanksgiving. It was always either like, if like in the couple of years after graduating, it was right, not long after the 2008 financial crisis, when like it was very hard to get a job. I managed to get a job, but I was getting paid pennies to work at this magazine. And it would get to be around like, September. And I would start talking to my parents and floating the idea of like, do you want to pay for my Amtrak ticket? Like, oh, it's so expensive. Like, I'm poor.
Yeah.
Like, please help me get home.
Which is such a millennial thing to experience. We
Such
were
a millennial
all
thing. Like,
all
please
fucking poor.
buy my Amtrak ticket. Or, you could get lucky enough and have a friend who is maybe like also from Maryland or also from somewhere else, like on the East
And
Coast,
hitch a ride. Yep.
gliding south, and like hitch a ride. Drive me to Philly. I'll take the train from Philly. It's way cheaper to get on that Amtrak. And like, it has nothing to do with anything. Like, the first time I took an Acela, I was like, so this is how the other half lives.
Yeah.
Like,
You were literally like in Hunger Games going to the Capitol.
Yes.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, what a nice experience. And now they have like an Acela, like I've never sat in first class in Acela, but apparently you get like free food and like all this nice shit. I mean, I wouldn't know, but it sounds nice.
I'm gonna blow my cover as a secret bouger these days, but first class on any American train line sucks. It sucks. It's still like they're still
Really?
heating your food up in the microwave. Yeah, it's awful.
First class is hilarious to me. It's like a concept on an airplane, on a train, anything, because like some of the differences between that and on the train, mostly on an airplane, there's definitely differences, but like on a train, the differences are so minimal. And sometimes I actually think Amtrak is better. I think the seats are roomier on Amtrak as opposed to Acela.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
would
me.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with
But
that.
you have better Wi-Fi on Acela, so if you actually are like a
That's
business
true.
class traveler,
And
you want
sometimes if
Acela.
I am on the train, I'm like, ooh, look at me. I'm going to be like a productive little working girl. And then it's like the Wi-Fi doesn't work in this train. I'm like, well, I tried.
Well,
And if you live
still with the car
outside
part.
the Northeast corridor, you're currently like, you guys have trains? Oh my God. Wait, they suck. I don't care. You guys have trains? Every time I talk about the metro, any complaint somebody from back home is always like, treasure it. Hold on to it with both hands.
But wildly, so when I moved down to Florida, we took the auto train down. So you like it's like a ferry, but a train for your car, and you put your car on the train. And we did get a first class ticket so we could get a room because it's an overnight train, and we knew we still had to drive 4 hours after. Also, the company that was relocating us paid for the tickets.
That's the only way
As they
millennials
should.
can
Yeah,
afford.
it was expensed by someone else's boss. But so we were going first class. It was like 1980s first class though. It's still like food made in microwave and like janky.
I mean,
But
whatever.
the
Sometimes
idea
like
that there is an
just
auto
feels
train
good.
from DC to Florida blows my mind given the lack of actual train infrastructure in the rest of the country.
I
And
feel like they don't tell people about it
yes,
because it's only one train and like it's this very deep hidden secret.
and
it
it's
books
almost
out.
entirely people who are going to Disneyland. Almost
Yeah.
entirely.
I imagine that, yeah. I think my grandparents used to do the auto train to Florida a million years ago.
That's
Yeah.
how I learned about it. Grandparents and my like cousin's side
Yeah.
of the
Heading
family.
down to
It-
boat, they'll meet at the car.
Right, or
Hello.
they came up from Fort Myers, but, like, it actually was great, like, if you're moving to Florida and you don't wanna drive the whole way.
Who would do that, Katie?
I would never
I
want to do
did
that.
it. I did that, and now to tie it all back to the holidays, it's probably what we're gonna do when we go back home for Christmas.
I know people who do the like Hunger Games lottery trying to get the auto train every year to try to avoid driving to Florida from this area. Even though they still, again, they have to drive like 3 hours to the auto train, take the auto train, and then a further 3 hours to get to like wherever their parents are in Florida, to like the villages or something. That they value so greatly, and this is specifically what my friends have said. They value so greatly being able to just sort of leave whenever and like have that car and be able to just bug out to a hotel whenever if they absolutely need to, that they're like, I'll do it. I will fight through the Hunger Games of trying to get a ticket. I will do whatever is necessary. And like it works for them.
That's the benefit of having the car, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why we're thinking about doing the auto train for Christmas is just, like, I need to be mobile. I don't wanna
You
be
need to have a
captive.
getaway car.
I don't wanna be captive to my family. I adore my family. I do not wanna be captive to them.
It's like it's like being on a cruise. You're trapped.
Yeah.
I need an
Yeah.
out.
That is a great segue. I will die on the hill that as millennials, what I want to do, especially because I don't have kids, is when there are these holidays, I don't want to do anything except what is non-traditional. So for Christmas and New Year's, we're going on a cruise. I know I'm never going to, Thanksgiving is going to be in Philly every year for all time. It's my partner's favorite holiday. She said to me point blank, you don't have to come, but you will not see me if you don't. So like Thanksgiving's
I
always going
respect
to
the
be.
shit out of that.
Oh yeah.
My partner has impeccable boundaries.
She's the
They're
queen
so
of
good.
boundaries. I
Impeccable
have learned
boundaries.
stuff from your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Fiance now.
Beyonce.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I finally saw the ring last
know.
week. It's
Third
so
time's a
pretty.
charm.
it. Yes.
But yes, I think that as millennials, like, why are we spending $1,200 to go down to Georgia? But the biggest thing that I learned from my partner is I don't travel unless it's what I want.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. After my husband and I got married almost 6 years ago, and our wedding was like a week before Thanksgiving, and so we
It
had,
was
just had
beautiful.
this. Oh, thank you. We
Yeah,
just
I
had
went
this
to it.
whole wedding, and it was all family and blah blah blah. And then it was Thanksgiving was like a week later, and we were like, we're not, no Thanksgiving for us. We're gonna go to the Dominican Republic and get away. We're gonna sit in the sun. It's gonna be wonderful. And we got down to the resort, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And we walked in, and the people at the front desk said, "Well, we really hope that you'll join us tomorrow night for a Thanksgiving dinner." And I said, absolutely fucking not. I want to know the restaurant that isn't serving turkey. I want a steak. And so we had steak dinner on Thanksgiving. And you know what? It was great. Perfect. But like, why were you having I left the country to get away from Thanksgiving just for 1 year. 1 year.
Do you
And
know what
now
I
you
think it is? I think it's the
criminal.
Americanification of the
Yes.
earth. So when I
Yeah.
was 9 to 12, I lived in Australia, and there were a lot of not expats because they were government workers living in Australia, but we lived in the very center, and it was like a whole group of us, and we'd go caravanning because we thought we were cool, and the Australians probably laughed at us. But we stopped at this road stop, and the road stop saw so many Americans come by that they started throwing Thanksgiving dinners in Australia, like a big get together. And all the Americans loved it. I remember it was fun. Like we ran around. There was a fucking emu. Like it was Australia. It was weird.
I
But
Did
mean,
you eat the emu?
yeah.
no, we did eat kangaroo, but we also ate turkey and like Thanksgiving stuff. They made it for us in Australia.
And that's it. See, this is the thing is I told my family we're going to Key West this year. I just moved to Florida. We are not doing the big Thanksgiving. We are going to Key West. And I've been looking for not Thanksgiving restaurants to eat on Thanksgiving Day. But then I was also talking with my cousin who lives in Japan. She grew up going to this giant Thanksgiving and she misses it so much. And they don't have turkeys in Japan. So she has to special order a turkey to Japan so that she can have her traditional Thanksgiving meal. So I think it's like one of those things where it's like if you are over the drama or like, you have bad family memories or you just do all the labor, like you're like, please free me from this machine. But then when you're stuck far away from this thing, suddenly it's like this nostalgia thing.
Totally. My husband and I, before we moved to Sweden, we actually lived in Slovakia for 3 years. And we had American friends also in Slovakia because they worked at the same company that my husband worked at the time. And on Thanksgiving, we would all get together and have like an American / Slovak Thanksgiving. So we would have a turkey, which they are not native to Central Europe, so not easy to find. We did manage to find them, but also we would have a goose. And it was wonderful. And like that time of year in Slovakia is like goose and duck season. So you can go to a restaurant and you get whole goose with like the pancakes on the side, and there's a jam, and it's amazing. I highly recommend anyone who's finding themselves in Slovakia or like the Czech Republic around like October, November, December, like go out for a goose feast because it's unbelievable. But like if I was, I have lived in a foreign country for many Thanksgivings, and sometimes it's really nice to like find your people and be like, let's just have a turkey, or like, let's combine two different cultures. Like, let's have a little bit of our American, turkey and whatever, but also like, let's get a fucking goose, guys. Like, let's
just
mix it
fucking
up.
do it.
Let's get weird. And it's so good. And it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that also talks to like the traditional versus non-traditional, like millennials grabbing that nostalgia and making it their own with new traditions.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I have a hot take question for everyone here on this topic because I've been
It's fucking
wanting to
cranberry
ask
sauce,
this,
isn't it?
which is, so what is so we've talked a lot about like trying to reclaim things, right? Like, reclaiming the cooking, even though our parents didn't like it or they didn't do it well, or, or what is the one food you remember? It doesn't have to be from Thanksgiving, but like from family gatherings that you will never reclaim. So for me, it's tomato aspic. Never, ever going to try and reclaim that.
I don't know what that
effing
is.
way.
Tomato aspic?
Tomato aspic made with V8 juice.
I've heard of like meat aspic.
Nope. So so aspic is like the savory gelatin mold things, and they would get V8 and gelatin, and so like the same way that canned crayon has like rings on it, the tomato aspic would have rings on it because you mix it in the like can. Anyway,
Okay, hold
Never.
on. I just
Never.
had
If
a
I was
thought.
super hungover, I'd
Do
give that a
you-
shot.
I
I'll
just
be
have a
real.
thought.
I mean, be a
You
great
cook
Bloody
it.
Mary.
Make a Bloody Mary.
Macaroni
Yeah, now we're
and
talking.
Bloody Mary cranberry
Okay,
sauce.
that's
Hell
something I would
yes.
reclaim.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we figured out how to reclaim it.
Now
So
we're
maybe I
talking.
have to shift
We
it to
solved
the
it.
Cool Whip ambrosia. Never gonna
We've made a
reclaim
new
the Cool
thing.
Whip
Ooh,
ambrosia.
ambrosia.
Cool Whip
Again,
Ambrosia is
and
awesome.
being all millennials, our answer to it to make it better is just put booze in it.
Is to make it
Just
alcohol.
put alcohol in it.
Yeah,
I know,
let's
me
make that out
too,
of it.
like,
Let's make it
with
into a
chocolate
shot. Let's make a
frosting.
Bloody Mary fucking tomato aspic. Oh my
That
god.
sounds
so
fucking
many
delicious.
questions.
Has to have
Done.
done that.
Now that it turned into a Bloody Mary, it sounds great.
A little
Right.
crispy bacon
I don't care
on
how
top,
much
like
weird
thin.
fruit gelatin is in
Right?
it. I'll drink
Right?
it.
Like a
Protein.
little sliver of bacon on top or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
get some
You know
pickles.
also what I want? I want now to turn Thanksgiving dinner into those like crazy Bloody Marys where there's like
Yes.
chicken and all the things on top of
The
it. That's how I'm
crispy
gonna
turkey
serve
skin
Thanksgiving.
as a garnish.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
Yep.
Oh, the
Done.
turkey skin.
Yeah.
So I'm never reclaiming putting sliced black
Thank you
olives
for getting us back
in
on topic.
spaghetti. That is vile and should never
I'm
have
sorry.
existed.
Can you repeat that? Because
Yeah,
just
I'm gonna
looked
go
up.
ahead and repeat that because it's a horror show. Sliced black olives with meat sauce. So like a red sauce. You take like hamburger and you basically make the bits of hamburger as small as possible while you're cooking them, and then you put not pasta sauce, but some kind of like canned tomato with no tomatoes in it. So it's like some kind of puree. And then you cook that down a little bit with some expired basil and oregano. And then you put moments before it's done half a can of sliced black olives on it. And then you
This sounds
serve
like
that
a Pizza
over.
Hut topping turned into a
is
sauce.
this a sauce?
It's
What
not
is
a
this
sauce.
for?
This is over top of spaghetti noodles. And the
I don't
ratio of the
understand.
sauce to the spaghetti noodles will never be correct. But if
So
you
I
eat
think
just
there
Deeply
is a
upsetting.
tomato sauce with olives in it. Yeah.
yeah,
it's not
like
that.
Yeah, well, it's tomato sauce
No.
with olives. I mean, in theory, it should be good,
it's not.
but the way you've described it is
Puttanesca.
deeply
Yeah.
upsetting.
Deeply
It's pasta
upsetting.
puttanesca, but that is not puttanesca.
No. I really don't even know how we got there over the course of the years, but that is, yeah. When I say my family doesn't know how to cook, that is like the dish I bring up that makes everybody go, huh? Like they get it because it really, you have to, the thought process necessary to get there is not like, imagine a meat sauce that was incapable of coating a pasta noodle. Instead, it just kind of left a
I
red
gotta get out
kind
of
of visual impression
Oh,
on the
so
noodle.
graphic.
The thing is I can't turn that into a Bloody Mary. Like the tomato aspect
No.
of Bloody Mary, that is not
At least
no.
the tomato aspect can hold its own, literally.
Yeah, literally.
It was always like the texture, and I know this is going to be a hard road to walk, but the tomato sauce you make for there's another name for like shakshuka or like eggs in purgatory,
Yeah.
that kind of. Okay, so imagine that texture, but it's beef, and there's no vegetables.
I don't want to imagine it.
And then
I'm
you
upset.
add in, it's
That
somehow
sounds like the
1-to-1.
tomatoes
It's
didn't
exact.
properly emulsify with the fat, so it stayed soupy.
It sounds
Was
like
it
it's
like-
No,
separated.
it was
like your
dry.
sauce broke. So there was
No,
like
it was
whole
weirdly
pieces
dry.
and then liquid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's and cooked so long that there's no actual sauce. It's just kind of like meat that's not all the way to paste. Like it could have been paste, but then also there was always, because of the cut of it, like a random little bit of cartilage would be in there too.
I think we got to move on, Liv.
We got to move on. This is going to be
I'm
on the
feeling
Patreon,
ill.
which is just
Okay,
Liv describes horrific family recipes.
Jason, Sarah,
Oh my
what
God,
are
I'm
the dishes
feeling
you
ill.
refuse to reclaim?
That we refuse to reclaim.
Yes.
I think for me, it's fruit cake. I fucking hate
Yeah.
fruit cake.
I love homemade fruit, like the store-bought log.
Who's
break-
doing
I
that?
hate
No,
fruitcake.
but I love
I
fruit
don't
cake.
like
So
fruit.
dry.
It's so dry. The fruit, it's not fruit. Like, I will say I had rum cake one time, but it had the essence of the LaCroix amount of fruit. Like, fruit had passed by
So
it.
you don't like the candied fruit that goes in it?
No,
Yeah, I
that's
don't like
that's terrible.
So
I
you
don't
would
like
not
it.
do very well in the United Kingdom where they live to put fruit in a cake.
And And also,
Yeah.
like, there is a good way to do this and a bad way to do this. And like, if you make homemade candied orange peel and put it in like a pound cake and make a fruit cake that way,
Sounds
it's
great.
delicious.
No,
Sounds really
that's a
good.
hard pass. I don't like fruit in things except for pizza and salad. That's where I draw the line.
I had to be like, oh, pineapple. He's talking
Yeah.
about.
I was just
Not
gonna
grapes.
say pineapple on pizza is offensive. Also, like burgers with pineapple on them.
Oh, love it. Love
How
it.
dare
Burgers with
you.
pineapple. Yeah, I had a burger once with a slice of pineapple and an egg on it that I didn't understand that's what was happening. And I was
Pineapple can go on anything. Pineapple is
The egg,
immaculate.
and you know
put
what?
it
I
on-
love pineapple, but like keep it away from my meat patty.
No,
Yeah.
no,
pineapple
it's so
is the
butter.
slut of the fruit world. It can
Right.
do as it pleases. It can
This
go
goes
on
back
anything
to
you
things
want.
that shouldn't go together that do go together. Like
Yeah,
bacon
chicken.
wrapped pineapple on the grill, incredible.
Delicious.
I guess that actually makes sense because like if you have Kahlua pork,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
roasts on pineapple.
It's so
Listen,
good.
Liv,
Okay.
ham queen, pineapple on
Or like
fucking
al
ham.
pastor.
Yeah.
Al pastor always has
Yeah.
pineapple in it.
Oh,
Okay.
incredible.
Pineapple can go in
I'm
whatever it
jiving
fucking
with you.
pleases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Sarah.
still don't
your
want
turn.
pineapple on my pizza, but I respect your love for it.
This would be a great Thanksgiving dinner because there are no trunkles here. Trunkles?
Absolutely
trunkles.
not a truffle in sight.
Crumple. There we go.
What
No.
is your unsalvageable traditional? Doesn't have to be Thanksgiving.
I'm trying to think of something. Honestly, like this sounds like I feel like an asshole, but like my parents were great cooks. Like really, really great in the kitchen. My dad is really good. My mom is an excellent cook. Like I'm honestly trying to think. Now, my grandmother, my Dabu, she died many years ago, but she has had some like real kitchen snafus that we still talk about years and years after she has passed away. My favorite, and I wouldn't eat this meal. It was so disturbing to look at. Was she made like a carrot soup, and she either like overcooked it or put in an abundance of carrot. It was bright orange, like disturbingly orange,
Like radioactive orange.
like radioactive orange, like a traffic cone.
Wow.
And that was pretty upsetting. And I think I took like a bite and I was like, no thanks. And
Yeah.
that I don't think I would want to reclaim the carrot soup.
I don't like cooked carrots in general. So
I have a recipe for a chai spice carrot soup that I adore. So like, but you gotta make it work.
It has to
Yeah.
work. I like a carrot. I love carrots. There was something about this carrot soup that was very displeasing to the eye. Not
It had
great.
bad aura.
It
Yeah.
had a bad aura. It had a
Bad
bad
vibe.
I'm
eye.
having the
vibe.
vision of like you guys remember Bridget Jones' Diary where she's like doing the dinner party and she
Yeah,
boils
yes,
asparagus with
exactly.
with the string on it and it
With
turns
the blue, yeah.
the blue soup. Yeah.
Yes, the blue soup. That was basically what this was. And it was just not, it was not. Yeah. I wish I had a better answer for this because I feel like very lucky that I grew up with parents who really loved being in the kitchen.
That's
maybe
great.
that's why you became a food writer.
Yeah.
That's every part of it. I mean, I used to I love cooking with my parents. And that's why I like holidays like this that are so food focused, like Thanksgiving and like Passover, things like that. Like I look forward to them because I knew that like everything on the table is going to be really fucking good. I will say the one dish that would change every single Thanksgiving was the cranberry sauce because my dad wanted it from the can and my mom wanted to make a homemade one. So we would always have one can of cranberry sauce with the slices and one like homemade cranberry sauce. And every year my mom would find a different recipe, whether it was from like the New York Times or Ina Garden or like whatever. And she would email me the recipe well before Thanksgiving and be like, can we make this? And I would say, ew, that sounds gross, or sure, let's give it a shot. And sometimes it would actually turn out really well. And sometimes it was honestly disgusting.
This is how I know I'm pan, not buy, because I'm like, there's more than 2 types of cranberry sauce.
If that isn't the end of the episode, I don't know what is. That is
We're gonna solve that. We're on our way to figuring it out one day.
There's
We're collecting
canned,
data.
there's homemade cooked, there's homemade fresh, there's chutney, and then there's the horseradish, which is partially frozen.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, wait, I was gonna say that canned cranberry is the trans, because pan
All
is
I'm saying is
supposed to
I'm
be
not
all
bi-cran, I'm pan-cran. That is
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a fun conversation. Where can people find more if they need more Sarah Kay in their life?
Thanks just so much for having me. I think everyone should have more Sarah Kay in their life. And the best way to do that is there's 2 ways, actually. These 2 ways are great. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at Sarah Eats, Sarah Drinks, or one word, no H in Sarah, by the way. Or I have a Substack that I update as frequently as my brain tells me to. And that is also Substack, same thing, Sarah Eats, Sarah Drinks, because I do, and I love to.
incredible.
Yeah. There's a third way to know you, but it's only from me.
Oh, you
Because
bet.
that's another episode of Once in a Generation. What was your favorite Thanksgiving side, and how does pineapple make it better?
Next time, we're talking toys. On the other side of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, holiday shopping season is going to be in full force.
You can find us at onceinagenerationpod.com. Follow us at the social links in the description. And if you want to support the show, join us on Patreon, where we have additional content for our patrons. The history of turducken and more are coming.
Thanks for unpacking the damage with us. We'll see you next time. And
Great.
happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving.